Hello, cryptocurrency fans. Welcome to CryptoTraders Room. And CryptoTraders Room, as you guys know, is a place where we eat, drink, sleep, dream, trade, and invest in digital currencies. And if you haven't done so already, please click on that subscribe button, as well as the post notification so that you're notified every time a video is uploaded or I schedule a live stream. My crypto journey, what is up, my friend? Welcome. Hope all is well in Boston. But what is going on today? Ethereum, over 100. I actually expected it to get to 100 and then have a nice pullback, but it definitely didn't. So it's hovering right around that, what, 113? Let's see if it actually came down a little bit. 98.50. Okay, so it did come down below that 100 because it was at 113 earlier this morning when I looked at it. So a little bit of a pullback, but I expected that to happen at 100. But I got up to what, 115, I think it was. I haven't really analyzed the chart yet. And I think my charting system is wrong, telling me it's 98 bucks. Let's hit refresh, because it's telling me that Ethereum Classic is at 666 and it's actually 713. All right, there we go. That's better. And I'm basically viewing this on a different monitor. So Ethereum 113 on Coinbase, as well as 112 on Gemini, Kraken 113. I'm sorry, Bitfinex 113. So the prices are pretty similar to each other. Usually Bitfinex is a little higher, and that's why I kind of try to utilize the arbitrage. But Litecoin, let's take a look on Coinbase 27.24, Bitfinex 27.36. So I was able to get out just a little bit. I sold a little bit of my position yesterday at 56. I have to look it up again. 56 and change. I think I sold 6.8. But I was able to sell those at 28.999. And then I was looking to get rid of more at 30, but of course it got to, I think it was like 29.93 on Bitfinex. But I thought it was actually going to break out above 30 and continue possibly 33. Of course, that breakout didn't happen. But for it to really get close to 30, that's impressive considering where it had dropped to, that $20.38 range. So for it to really make that $9 leap, it's pretty impressive. And if anybody caught that $20 or $21 drop, definitely made a good amount of money. Yeah, I got in at 28 on Litecoin, and then sold a little bit at 28.99, 29 bucks, let's just say, round it up. But yeah, Ethereum Classic is really what I'm focused on today, considering it broke out above the 7. That 680 was a really good resistance for it. Broke out above the 7, maintained that 7. It got to 740, I think it was. Let me take a look at this chart real quick. Exactly 740. And I did have a sell for 750. Let me look at the order. Yeah, I was just looking to get rid of about 146.26 at 750. Just looking to kind of lock in just a little bit of profit, start selling in increments instead of getting rid of everything at once. But if it does break out above that, really the strong resistance that it has is that 799. And if it can break out above that 799, $9 is in sight, possibly 10, depending on how big that pump is. But I think it's gearing up for a pump, and I've been saying it for a while now, and that's why I've been holding on. But she's got to break out above that 8 in order for it to have a really good upward swing. And then momentum traders will step in. I mean, if it goes up from 7 to 8 and breaks above 8, people fear missing out will start piling in and actually drive the price up close to that 10 bucks that I've really been looking for. And like I said before, there's no reason that Ethereum Classic should be under 10 bucks. It should not. Logan's Run. What is up, buddy? Hope all is well on this Friday, probably Friday afternoon for you, being in the UK. Jose, you caught it at 22. Dude, that's pretty good. That is very good. Yeah, I was still in it at 24, 24.58 when it actually dipped to $20.38 on Coinbase or GDAX and dropped to 21 bucks on Bitfinex. So I was already in that trade. But Logan, I remember telling you, a while back, I was looking for that 21.50 when I got in at 24.58. That's really what I was looking for. And what do you know? It broke through that 21.50, got to 21, and then it kind of had a nice little upward movement, and then came back down to that $20.38. But yeah, Jose, that's not a bad hold, man, from 22. I would definitely be holding. I wouldn't be holding all of it. I would start, taking profits in increments, but I wouldn't sell everything. And that's kind of what I've been doing the past couple trades, especially with Litecoin and Ethereum. It's just basically, selling a little bit, taking a little bit of profit as it goes up, sell a little more instead of getting rid of everything at once, and then it kind of goes up. Like basically Litecoin yesterday. I was kind of looking to get rid of it at 27.99. I saw the really nice pattern form, and I said, you know what, it's not even worth it for me to sell at 27.99 because it's going to hit that 28.99. And what do you know? It hit the 28.99, executed a little bit of my trade, and it went up to that 29.98. Let's just say 30 bucks. But I'm hoping the audio, the video quality is good. Let me know if you guys are hearing echo, because I know when I watched the video yesterday, for part of the video, there was a good amount of echoing. But then as the video progressed, the echoing stopped. And then close to the end of the video, the echoing started again. And, I didn't make any changes at all to the settings. So I think later on, I'm going to have to get a new microphone because it's definitely the microphone that's possibly causing these echoes, considering it does it periodically here and there. Let's see, Jose, what are you saying? You put 1,300 through Coinbase at 22, so you can't sell yet. Okay, so I'm assuming you didn't get the coins since you did it through Coinbase. Yeah, so that's that instant buy, basically. Yeah, they might make you wait a couple of days, so hopefully the price doesn't drop on you. But yeah, in order for Litecoin to really get back up, it needs to break that resistance, that 29.99, 29.95, whatever it was. It needs to get above that. I think it got to like 29.53 or 29.48 on GDAX. But if it can break that, 33 is in sight. So as the price goes up, I think I'm looking to get rid of looking to get rid of the 100 that I have left at 29.99, just to kind of wait for a nice pullback to maybe 28, 27.50 again to buy back in. Considering it's a strong resistance at 29.99, 30 bucks, I figure I might as well just unload everything that I have on it. But on Ethereum Classic, I do have different increments to sell. I basically locked up that 125 that I bought at 430. I kind of just put a $15 price tag on it, just so I don't touch it, and just so I know that 125 was bought at $4.30. And then the other ones I'll be selling in different increments. So selling about 146 at $7.50, 220, actually 200 at $8, and then we'll see if it gets up to that $10 price point. Where I'll sell 225, but then I'm going to keep 500, and that's why I put another $15 price tag on that, just so kind of hope for a better run later on. And I think the mistakes that I've been making on some of these trades is just kind of getting out of everything and not holding something that I bought at a very cheap price and keep holding it, considering the price is not dipping to that. Yeah, Jose, Coinbase is horrible, man, in that sense. It does take them a while to release those coins. Lily the dog. Hey, pasa. What do I think about Stellar? It just went up a lot. I don't know. We'll look at it. I don't have no issues at all looking at some of the coins that you guys recommend. I might not buy them. Now, if that's one of the recommendations, so I've said it in the past videos, where once this video basically uploads, because right now it's just a live stream, you're not able to leave any comments at all. You can only leave a comment in the chat, which doesn't carry over to the comment section once the video has been uploaded. But if you go in and leave me a comment about what altcoin to trade, and your comment has the most likes, I will analyze that altcoin and possibly trade it depending on the trend, depending on what it's telling me. I mean, if there's no movement, there's no sense in me trading it. But if there's volatility, if there's momentum, we'll find a nice entry and then we'll find an exit as well too. But if your comment has the most likes, next time I do a live stream, that's the cryptocurrency or altcoin that I'll be analyzing to take a small position. But that cryptocurrency has to be in one of the exchanges that I utilize. So it has to be Bittrex, Poloniex. If Poloniex allows me to make a deposit, we'll see how that goes. Coinbase or Bitfinex. I don't really count Gemini, considering Gemini is only offering the same thing that GDAX offers, basically, minus the Litecoin. But let's see, Stellar. You said it's up big today, so I always look at things by volume. Let's see if it's up there by volume. It is. The top 5 in volume today. It's up 5%, but let's see where it's been. And I think you really got to keep an eye out on Ripple to see what Ripple's doing, and that might give you a somewhat of an indicator what Stellar might do. So it's not making a new all-time high. So it should be very simple to kind of plot out where the resistance is. But let's keep an eye out on some of these patterns, see if I see anything. Because yesterday when I was looking at Ripple, I didn't really see the inverted head and shoulder. And then when I was rewatching the video, just to make sure the audio was good, and I was like, wow, how did I miss that inverted head and shoulder right there when, before the price really took off? So unless you're really keeping an eye out for these inverted head and shoulders or just a regular head and shoulder fake, you're not going to catch them unless you know specifically that's what you're looking for. So, I mean, it's got some areas of resistance that it needs to break. And it looks like it might just break the first resistance right now, which the first resistance looks like it's about 2680, somewhere to that extent, and it actually broke it. So let's see, next area of resistance. Yeah, and this one will probably be a strong resistance, considering several times it tried to break out, and it did break out above it just momentarily, and then of course it got pulled back down. But that area is going to be right around the 2900. But let's go ahead and zoom out of this and see if there's any more. So there's that 2900 there. After that, really, I mean, and that's if it's breaking out. If momentum slows down, there's no way that it can break out above the resistance. After that, possibly, let's just say 33, 35, 33.50. And then, of course, I had that big pump. Let's see, areas of support. Where could this thing really come down to? Areas of support looks like right around the 2250 range, 2260. And that would be the first area of support. And I wish I could zoom into these candles to see exactly the battle that was forming between the bears and the bulls, because that's really what these are, these candlesticks. It's just a battle that's happening. It's an argument. It's a war between the bears and the bulls, and who thinks this cryptocurrency or Stellar is worth more. So the bears are saying it's not worth that much. This is what I'm willing to pay for it. The bulls are saying no, it's worth a lot more. This is what I want for it, and they battle it out. It's a fight to see who wins. But yeah, not being able to zoom in on Poloniex chart is a little discouraging. But after that, you're looking at possibly 2100. And then from there, after that, 1600, something to that extent. But from this low that it made, it is actually uptrending. And that low would have been right here when it actually made a new high and then kind of dipped. It basically dipped to, what is that price point? About 1800. Yep, somewhere in the range of 1800. So if she really does take a massive dump, that's really what she could come down to before really reversing. And that's if she breaks the first area of support. And that first area of support somewhere around the 22 range. But yeah, not a bad start though. I mean, it's really making a nice upward move. As you can see with the current candlestick, the bears kind of pulled it down a little bit, but bulls brought it right back up, and that's why we have a wick down here. So it definitely opened up right at the previous candlestick's closing price, but then they brought it down halfway of the previous candle's closing price, and then of course the bulls brought it right back up. So it's definitely got some upward move. But I would always be looking to lock and profit in some of these coins. Some of them are long-term hold, or somewhat long-term hold, especially if you got in at a cheap price. I mean, Jose got in at 22 bucks for Litecoin. You know, I mean, as long as he's taking profit on the way up, he'll be fine. But with some of these other altcoins that are not very stable, I mean, they can run up nice, and if you're not taking profit, they can come right back down to where you bought it at, or even dip below that. Let me see if I'm missing any of these comments. Yeah, I wouldn't buy Stellar, to be honest with you. You know, I haven't bought Ripple. But I did say, you know, if Ripple really comes down to a level that I like, considering I know where it's been or where it's capable of going to, that 42, 43 cent range, you know, if it dips to really, you know, the 22, 25, somewhere to that extent, I would consider looking at it just to see if it's going to have a nice bounce up. Yeah, Lily the dog. When I mean I can't zoom in, I mean I can't zoom in with my mouse like I can with any other platform that I use for charting. You know, I should be able to, you know, highlight a candlestick or get to a candlestick and be able to zoom in and out of it. The only thing I can do is just kind of click on the zoom hours that they have. I can't really kind of zoom into where specifically I want it to. I have to kind of deal with how they customized it. But yeah, their charting system is nothing spectacular, but it's better than nothing. But let's take a look and see what's really taking a beating today. Digibyte. Of course that was going to come down. I don't know whoever thought that was going to just keep going up and up and up. Bitcoin seems to be taking a nice dump, 25% down, but good amount of volume, a little over 6,000, 8,000. But Bitcoin Dark, I've previously talked about this in the past. There's definitely something brewing with Bitcoin Dark. I know it had that pump with Bitcoin Plus when they ran up. I think Bitcoin Plus ran up what, maybe 3,000, and Bitcoin Dark ran up 4, 5. It might have been 600%. I think it ran up to like 0.05. And I think with Bitcoin Dark, what's happening is people are buying up Bitcoin Dark because they can actually exchange them for Komodo. So they're able to exchange one Bitcoin Dark for 50 Komodos. And I guess, you know, depending on what Komodo is going to do, people might buy up Bitcoin Dark just so they can get those 50, you know, 1 for 50 conversion. But that is on, if you check out Bitcoin Dark's website or even Komodo's website, it does talk about on there. I think you have to the end of 2018, January of 2018, something to that extent, to convert your Bitcoin Dark to Komodo. So I think people are buying up Bitcoin Dark just so they can convert them. But you know, 0.01 is not bad at all considering where it's been. Yeah, and really, you know, that's the best thing to do is you know, have a small position in some of these coins. You know, don't go all in. You know, that's usually when people take a massive loss is when they put a lot into something. You know, when you put a lot of money into a cryptocurrency, really your whole time should be very minimal. But when you're buying only a little bit, then you can extend that whole time because if it does go down, you're not going to lose a lot. But if you go in heavily, let's just say with 5,000 and it dips 20, 30%, that's a good amount of loss that you're taking. Duke, welcome, buddy. You bought Stellar at 28.48. And I know I was just looking at it too. So you're under a little bit if you bought it at 28.48. So you bought it. I mean, it's making it back up there. Hopefully you didn't buy it, you know, before it had that massive crazy dump to looks like 2000 possibly, 1800. Yep, 1801. You know, it's funny that you mentioned SC Coin. Let's take a look at it because I've talked about this previously in the past. I've traded this thing many times a while back. I mean, I was buying it at off the top of my head, I would buy it at 28 Satoshis, sell at 30 Satoshis. I would buy it at 29 Satoshis, sell it at 31 Satoshis. I mean, that's really all that it was doing. It was just really going up 1 to 2 Satoshis, coming down 1 to 2. And I think I might have traded it like 5 or 6 times. I forget. But that was a while ago, before this crazy pump actually happened. Yeah, and Lily the dog, the thing about some of these altcoins is, they all have great projects. They all have interesting projects. I don't think any of them are going to say, hey, we have a bad project here. We're just going to steal everybody's money. A lot of these coins are scams. So, I mean, the white paper is going to sound really good, where that project sounds really interesting, really good, but you just got to be very careful with some of these coins. And going all in, and I've done it. So, I am a victim of it, but I've been trading for a while, and I can definitely minimize my loss, especially with some of these altcoins, which I don't really trade on a regular basis. But going all in on something that could possibly be a scam is kind of dangerous. At least, start locking in profit if you're in the profit. Still hold on to a little bit, but start locking in some of the profits. Don't stay heavily invested, going all in as it's just running up, because eventually it's going to come tanking, and it will tank. It's just a matter of when. It's a matter of really when these big investors I got in, when it was a fraction of a penny, when they decide to pull the plug and say, you know what, I just made a couple $1,000,000. I'm happy. Made a couple $1,000,000 on a $20,000 investment. So yeah, you got to lock in those profits. But welcome to anybody new that's joining this live stream. If you haven't done so already, please click on that subscribe button. If you find this video helpful, please help me out and click on that thumbs up. Also, stay connected with us. Sign up for our mailing list. There are links at the bottom of this video. But our website is CryptoTradersRoom.com, and it's just basically a landing site where you can sign up for our mailing list. We will be giving away some free memberships to our Slack chat room. It's a great chat room that we got going on. But also, though, stay connected with us at our social media sites. We are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, Snapchat, and the handle is CryptoTraders Room, or CryptoTraders RM, and the RM stands for Room. You're holding 200,000 Ripple. Woo! I don't know if you told me what your entry price was, but I hope you're in the money. But yeah, if this thing goes to $1 because it gets pumped by banks, yeah, you'll be sitting nicely. But yeah, just remember, take profits. Be happy with them. Don't be greedy. There's nothing wrong with there's nothing wrong with leaving money on the table, and I will continue to say this. There's nothing wrong with, cashing out some of your profits, and it goes up a little bit. Don't be discouraged that it goes up a little bit. It's okay to leave money on the table. Don't be greedy, because when you're greedy and not leaving a little bit of money on the table, that's really when it's going to come back to bite you in the long run. And you might get lucky a couple times here and there, but eventually it's going to crash on you, and you're going to lose majority of your profit, or possibly lose some of the capital that you started out with. So always lock in profit on the way up. That's the best thing to do. Maybe sell. I mean, since you're holding about 200K, maybe start selling 10% here and there as the price goes up. And then if the price dips, you actually have some profit that you locked up that you could use to reinvest back into Ripple when it does dip. But yeah, don't keep holding on, assuming that it's just going to keep going higher and higher and higher, because eventually it will turn, and it's going to turn at the wrong time when you're least expecting it. 11:30, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, it could definitely take that tank. Be careful, dog Ripple is a scam. Logan, yes, indeed, dude. I think it is to an extent. There's definitely money to be made as a trader. And there's nothing wrong with trading something that's a scam, as long as you're not fully invested in something, just because it sounds great and that banks are getting involved. I think, once it really gets heavily decentralized or heavily centralized, I can see a dip. But yeah, to an extent, Ripple's a scam. 100 billion market cap. I mean, not market cap. I'm sorry. 100 billion float of coins that are out there. That's crazy. I mean, they just flooded the market with it. And for them to really pump up the price, You know, I mean, that's really what it is. It's all media hype, especially for them to say, hey, you know, we're going to lock up, you know, what was it, 45 or 55 billion coins. So then what are they going to do with those 55 billion coins that they're actually locking up later on down the road? You know, that's gonna cause the price to rise. It definitely will, especially you know when the supply is low or the supply is being reduced. Yes, it will cause the price to go up. But you know, what do you think is going to happen a year and a half down the road when they start releasing those coins slowly but surely? They're going to start flooding the market with more coins. They're going to saturate it, and the price will start dipping and dipping and dipping, and it'll just be a continuous downtrend until it really levels out and finds a nice bottom and starts to curve back up. Yeah, and Lily, I mean that's a great thing to do. You're looking at point 0.5 to start cashing in. Um, yeah, I mean it got up to what 42 cents, 43 cents, something to that extent. So yeah, as long as you're locking in profit and you stick to the plan that you've actually you know come up with, that's the best thing to do. Like I said, you know you're gonna leave money on the table. That's perfectly fine. 100 billion pre-mined coins, and I don't know what the 623 is for. And yeah, majority of them are in the hands of the founders. You know, why do you think they're locking up 55 billion coins? I mean, they want their investment to go up. They're not happy with the 42 cents. They want $1. They want $2. They probably want the market cap to be so high that they want it to be higher than Bitcoin. I mean, why do you think they flooded the market with so many coins so that they get the market cap up and overtake what was it, Litecoin they overtook, I think. Yeah, it's a risk you take, Lily. It's a risk you take. You know, nothing's guaranteed at all, to be honest with you. But like I said, I mean, holding a little bit is not bad at all. I mean, I'm still holding 125 of Litecoin that I bought at $4.30 because I bought them really cheap, and the price is up higher. So I mean, but if I see that the price is really dipping and starting to dip, you know, I'm going to lock in some of the profit, even though I could have probably locked in a higher profit. But you know, to buy it at $4.30, you know, it doesn't hurt me to hold on to it because I'm still in the profit. Ripple could also be a scam, but it's a lot of money in a scam. Yes, a lot of money is being dumped in a lot of scams. And really, I mean, you know, they rely on us retail investors, and that's what we are. We're retail investors. And, you know, we don't have millions of dollars to start investing in these altcoins. So basically, you know, I mean, they're the big dogs, and we're the little dogs. It's a dog eat dog type of world, where the big dog will eat the little dog. So as they're eating a T-bone steak, you know, what are they doing? They're throwing us the bone, and we're getting a little bit of meat off the bone, and that's kind of what we're doing with trading. You know, they're going to make the most money out of these altcoins, and all we can do is kind of nibble at it um, and and take a little bit of profit. Let's see what you're saying, Lily. If banks want to regain power over money, this is a good way for them. Can't beat them, so join them. Yeah, sometimes you have to, uh, but you know, just get out before they do. That's exactly what I would say. I mean, it's a dangerous world, and people lose a lot of money in trading, and it's greed that basically eats away at their profit or eats away at their capital. You want it to get up to 50 cents so you can start sleeping again. I've been there. I've been there. I think it was when I bought Ethereum at 76 bucks. I put a low ball offer in and it hit it. It was like 76.22, something to that extent. And I was actually on margin. I was heavily leveraged on margin. And within about, I think 48 hours, I got 45 minutes of sleep. Like, I mean, I was up watching it. I did not want this thing to kind of turn around and go against me because you know they would have liquidated the account if it dipped pretty bad. Yeah, Logan, I don't know, man. I don't know how they're gonna secure their coins. To be honest with you, you know, I think you know this whole hype about them locking up 55 billion coins. It's just it's all propaganda. That's all it is. You know, will they do it? Who knows? You know, until they actually do it, no one knows. You know what their motive is behind this. And their motive could be drive the price up. And if the price goes up, new investors come in. If the price is pretty stagnant, who's going to want to invest in it? So I think they're doing this just to kind of bring in new investors to hype up Ripple, to get it. They probably wanted the market cap to be above Bitcoin, and it can. I mean, with 100 billion coins out there, I mean, it gets to 50 cents. That's 50 billion. It gets to $1. That's 100 billion in market cap until it all comes tanking. Yeah, Lily Dog, it happens to every trader. Every trader. There isn't a trader out there that I know that it doesn't happen to. You sell, it goes up. You hold on to it, it goes down. That's why you don't sell everything at once. You start selling in increments, and whatever that increment is that you feel comfortable with, whether it's a quarter of your position, or a third of your position, or a tenth of your positions, whatever you feel comfortable with, it's always good to lock in those profits on the way up and not sell everything at once. Because if you do sell everything at once, yes, it could go up, and then you're like, oh man, I missed out. So then what's going to happen next time is you're going to hold on to something because you're going to expect it to go up, and it's not going to go up. It's going to go down. So yes, that happens to me all the time. I sell something and I sell everything. It goes up. I hold on to it. It goes down. So I started basically changing my strategy a little bit and just locking in profit as the price starts to go up. But yeah, I mean, you're never going to time the market perfectly. You're never going to find the bottom. You're never going to find the top. Yes, it can happen. You can get lucky. I've gotten lucky in the past, and I've caught something at the bare bottom. But, that's just pure luck. It wasn't something that I said, hey, I know for a fact that it's going to get to this price point. It was pure luck, basically, and it's happened a couple times. Can it happen again? Possibly, but more than likely, the probability of it happening again are very slim. I know I'm missing some of these comments here, so I do apologize. Let's see. Ripple Corp can do anything they want with XRP. Double speed, create infinite coins, anything. Yeah, you're right, man. You are absolutely right. And welcome to the channel, by the way. I think this is the first time I'm seeing your name on here, so thank you so much. And if you guys haven't done so already, please click on that like button, click on that subscribe button, as well as the post notification so that you're notified every time a video has been uploaded or I schedule a live stream. But starting next week, I'm going to have a very consistent schedule. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, probably from 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time Zone to about 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time Zone. I'll be doing these live streams, and then if something is really happening in the market and I have the time, I might hop on at night or hop on Tuesdays, Thursdays, depending on if I have time and if there is movement in the market. But I'm going to be very consistent with these live streams. Start doing them Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So definitely expect that. Yeah, and the thing about Ripple is I just don't understand why people are just pouring money into it and pouring money into it. It is starting to get mainstream news. That's the thing. So people that are in the traditional stock market, and that's really what they've been trading for years, are starting to look into this. And I used to trade stocks. I've kind of weaned my way out of trading stocks and got more into cryptocurrencies. But I still do follow some of the stocks, and for entertainment reasons, I'll get on some of the troll box. And I remember there was an email that came out, or somebody kind of posted saying, Ripple's up so much, second market cap, blah 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 blah. And every comment was basically saying, how do I short this thing? Where do I buy it? How do I short this? Basically, I mean, they're saying that it went up from a fraction of a penny to 42 cents. So they're automatically assuming, what, this is a great shorting opportunity. And they could be right or they could be wrong. They could get burned or they could make a lot of money. So who knows? But, it is starting to gain mainstream and people are starting to notice Ripple. But whether they're going to come in as short sellers or they're going to come in as a long-term investor, who knows? People that aren't really informed of it will come in as a long-term investor. But I mean, there's a lot of people that their strategy in trading is just shorting, and that's all they do. And there's nothing wrong with that. But that's a style that works for them. That's what they're comfortable with. That's how they're making a lot of money. They will probably never take a long position. So if they see Ripple or any of these cryptocurrencies up so high, some of these altcoins, they'll come in and attempt to short it. Yes, there is for sure problems with it. Indeed. Just like a lot of these other altcoins, there's problems with them as well too. You stay away from margin. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with margin. I always tell people to stay away from margin as well too. If you're not really familiar on how margin works, you could really burn yourself with margin. But I think anything in moderation is okay. I've utilized margin, I think off the top of my head, I'm going to say 3 times, and it definitely paid out. I took 2,600 bucks that I had, utilized margin, and basically made 50%. So I basically made 1,300 bucks by utilizing margin. But if I had that 2,600 bucks that I was only using, I might have made 600 bucks out of that. So by utilizing margin, I was able to double my profit and actually make 50% profit based on the capital that I had, not the margin. So anything in moderation is okay. But when you're on margin, you just got to be very careful. And I do like utilizing margin on GDAX, so they don't charge me a fee. Unfortunately, it's only good for 28 days. After 28 days, they will cash you out, basically, whether you're at a loss or you're at a profit. But there's no fees that they charge as of right now, so which is good. I know when I trade stocks and I utilize margin, I mean, it's 7.5% interest that I pay, and that's huge. So, usually with the stock market, I won't hold too long on margin. But with cryptocurrency, I mean, I've done margin. I've held it for a couple of days, considering I'm not incurring any fees at all. My take on Ethereum right now, I mean, 113, dude, I never expected it. I expected it to get to 100, and when it got close, a while back, and it got pulled back, and I said, all right, that's a very strong resistance. That 100, it's a psychological level where traders are looking to cash out. And I thought it would hit that 100 and kind of have a nice pullback, possibly to the 85 range. But no, it broke out to 13, possibly 14, 15, I think. So it's impressive. It really is impressive. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. It was only 5 months ago that I was looking at it, and it was at 750 or $7. It was like 705, and then it got up to 805, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy it, but I'm gonna wait until it gets back down to 705. And what do you know? It never made it back down. It's good that you mentioned that, Lily, and I'm glad you're sharing that with us. So thank you so much. And for anybody really watching this video after the live stream and after it's been uploaded to YouTube, because I know you guys are not able to see the comments that are being left on the chat. Lily the dog basically stated that he or she, I'm not sure, Lily, I don't know if that's just your dog name or he or she basically has been only been doing this for 3 weeks, and you're learning everything, and you made tons of emotional mistakes already. And that's the thing about trading is you gotta curb your emotions. And I've talked about this in the past where I've walked away from my computer. I had to walk away from it. The price was just running up so high, so fast. And as a trader, my emotions are going to take control, and I'm going to be like, I need to get in this. It's that fear of missing out. I got to get in, and I would end up getting in at a high price. So what I did was I walked away from my computer, went outside for 5 or 10 minutes. I came back, and what do you know? Yeah, it went up, but it started retracing back down. So it's always good to keep your emotions in check. Don't fall in love with these cryptocurrencies because they're not going to love you back. And I've mentioned that many times before. Use them as a trading vehicle. Make money off of it because a lot of traders are not making money. So if you're able to lock in some sort of profit, be happy with it. Don't get greedy. It's that greed that will end up taking away your profit. But yeah, emotions, it's huge. And in the past, I've chased things and it's come back to haunt me. And I've chased things again and it's come back to bite me. So, kind of repeating the same thing over and over again and doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome is not going to help you in your trading strategy. So you have to really keep it consistent. Jay Riggs, welcome. You're asking if it's a good entry for Ethereum at 113. Whoa. If that is what you mean, it's pretty high, buddy. I wouldn't even get in at 113. Yeah, I mean, if you weren't willing to buy it at 82 or willing to buy it at 90, why buy it at 113? That's kind of the way I look at it. With some of these cryptocurrencies, I look at them and I say, okay, I didn't buy this thing when it was cheap, and I've been looking at it. So why would I buy it now that it's run up? Wait for a nice correction. And anything that goes up, it's a law of gravity. It's going to come back down. It's going to correct. You just have to really figure out, okay, what is the level of correction? Where is it going to correct to? Where is a soft support? Where's a hard support? And wait for that correction to kind of get down to that level of the hard support or the soft support, whatever it might be. But yeah, wait for a retracement to happen. I don't know what platform you're using, but Ethereum is 113 currently on Bitfinex, and it's 114. Well, it's actually higher on GDAX. I am surprised, but yeah, you're buying at the high. So yeah, wait for a retracement. It'll happen. I don't know how far to get down to, but the retracement will happen. I think it's got great support at 82. Excuse me. Lily, thank you for sharing that with us. That's awesome. I love dogs. I actually had a chance to watch my buddy's dog for about a week, and I miss it. I used to have two dogs of my own years ago, so it's a great experience having another dog or having a dog in the house for a week. So, but yeah, living in Rio and playing CryptoTrader. Yeah, it's a great market, to be honest with you. It's a whole new market. It's just really getting a lot of attention. It's young. I mean, 8 years old. Bitcoin's 8 years old. But the other cryptocurrencies or altcoins that came onto the market. So really, it's a new market, and that's the best thing to do is get involved early. Oh, Duke, yeah, man, margin will hurt you bad. It will. I don't think margin's playing with fire. It's like basically drinking water out of a fire hydrant. I mean, you'll drown. Yeah, emotional mistakes will happen as a trader, and that's why I think about it. So these huge institutions, these financial institutions that really control the stock market, they don't have people trading. They have computers trading. It's all robo algorithm trading because the algorithm trading computers curve out the emotions. There is no emotion. They're programmed to buy at a certain level when the resistance gets low. I mean, I'm sorry, when the support happens, they're trained to sell at the resistance, and that's all they do. They'll place hundreds upon thousands of trades and make tons of money. There is no emotion. They buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell. That's all they do. With humans, there's a lot of emotion because you think, oh, it's going up, it's going to go up higher, it's going to go up higher, and it keeps going up. And then you're like, all right, you know what? I'm going to cash out at 15 when it gets to 15, and it gets to 15, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to cash out when it gets to 17, 18, and it doesn't make it there, and it crashes back down to 10. So yes, emotions is huge, huge, and that's why I say the best thing to do when something is moving and you're looking to get in is to walk away from your computer, just out of sight, out of mind, and then come back to it and see what happens. Let's see, Lily, you're saying don't compound your mistake. You're having emotional resistance versus investment. Yes, indeed. Yeah, you can't keep making the same mistakes over and over again. You just got to be like, all right, you know what? I've tried these things. It didn't work for me. So what are the chances of it working again are very slim. And I think I forget who I use this analogy with, but it's like, you go to the same restaurant 3 times and the service is bad 3 times, the food is bad 3 times. Are you expecting a different outcome the fourth time? No, it's going to be the same. The service is going to be bad. The food is going to be bad. You can't expect something different when the trend has been doing the same exact thing. J Riggs, nice. You open a Coinbase account. Yeah, if anybody's looking to open a Coinbase account, use my link at the bottom of this video. You will earn $10 in Bitcoin when you actually sign up and you make your first trade. I think of $100. You'll get 10 bucks in Bitcoin. I'll get 10 bucks in Bitcoin. So if you haven't started a Coinbase account or a GDAX account, GDAX and Coinbase is the same company. So if you sign up for a Coinbase account, you do have access to GDAX. But it'll help you. It'll help me. So definitely use that link, please. As well as if you're buying anything from Amazon, I do have an Amazon link that will help me out a little bit. So please feel free to click on that Amazon link and purchase whatever it is that you're purchasing. Price is the same. They don't charge you anything different by using my link. It just kind of helps me out to be an affiliate. Bez, what's up, buddy? How are you? Thanks for joining. Let's see what I'm missing out on. Indeed, living the dream. Yes, I am happily married, but I've heard Brazilian girls are beautiful. Actually, there was a buddy of mine that when I was in college, I ran into him. He was in town, and I was like, "Dude, what have you been up to?" And he was like, "I packed up and moved down to Brazil 6 years ago." So he's teaching English in Brazil, and he has no intentions to really come back and live in the States. And Australia, Melbourne is a great place as well too. We do have one of the guys that's usually active in our Slack chat. He's from Australia as well too. Yeah, but yeah, I would love to visit Brazil one day. One day, that's a magic word. One of these days. You were drunk one night and got bit by a penguin. That's not good, dude. J-Rig's not a problem, man. I'm glad you appreciate the help. Thank you so much. And if you haven't done so, please click on that like button. I think you are a subscriber. But let's kind of get back to Ethereum Classic because I am looking to. I'm in the profit as of right now with the 1,071 that I bought at $7. Um, but I don't know. I think I'm usually not greedy, but there's definitely something brewing. And and I think the biggest indicator is going to be when Bitcoin hits 2,000 to see exactly what happens at 2,000. And I'm not talking about hitting 2,000 on Bitfinex. I'm talking about hitting 2,000 on GDAX or Coinbase or Gemini. I think those two exchanges represent the actual price, the real representation of the price of Bitcoin. I don't think Bitfinex really represents that, to be honest with you. I think they're great for arbitrage because considering the price is different, and that's what I utilize them for. It's just for arbitrage. But if people start, my basically philosophy on Ethereum Classic is that if people start pulling money out from Bitcoin because it hits that psychological level of 2,000, and they're just sellers that are stacked up waiting to get out because they've made a huge profit, why wouldn't they? And they're going to wait for it to get to maybe 1,700 and buy back in. But what do you think? Where do you think they're going to put some of that money in? And my thinking behind that is they're going to put money into a stable cryptocurrency that has the volatility, that has the momentum, that their money could actually buy them a lot more of the coins. For Ethereum, they're not able to buy as much. Ethereum Classic, I think they're able to buy a lot more at this current $7.16 price point. So I can see money flowing uh, into Ethereum Classic. Is my logic behind it, and if that happens, that's great. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'm never 100% correct, but I think it's undervalued at $7. Like I said in the past, there's no reason that it's not at $10, or even attempted to get to $10. It attempted to get to 8 and got pushed back. Yeah, you're right, Lily. It has a lot of growth. I agree. It definitely has that potential to pop. And we had a couple of nice little pops of 90 cents or a dollar, but I think that was just kind of the starting point of a nice pump. But it gets up and then it gets pulled back. But I am happy that it's made it above the 680 because that 680 was really giving it a hard time. Let me go ahead and zoom out of this so you guys can see. So that 680 gave it a hard time considering 3 times it got, maybe 4 times, let's just say. Actually, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. It attempted to break out completely above it and got pushed right back down. So that 680 was huge for it to break out above it. It's huge for it to break out above the $7 and maintain that $7, and that's exactly what it's doing. Now, if this was a complete fake out, this would have come back down to the possibly 6, but but it's not. So I do like the fact that it's maintaining above 7 and possibly gearing up for a nice pump. So I'll be selling a little bit at 750 if it does get to that 750. It got to 740 this morning, but it didn't hit that 750 price level that I was looking for, and I was asleep, so I wasn't even awake. But then I'm going to start selling a little bit in increments depending on how fast it's moving and if it's consolidating or if it's going to start downtrending. Buy and hold, and it could be next week. Yeah, I mean, I've been holding ATC for a little while now. I think this is the longest hold. I mean, I held Bitcoin from March 2014 to January 2018. January 2018 is kind of when I sold it when it got to 1,000. That was the longest hold. But that was kind of out of sight, out of mind. I was just trading the traditional financial market. I wasn't trading cryptocurrencies. I mean, really, exchanges didn't exist then. It was just basically Coinbase and Bitstamp and a couple other Mt. Gox that I had an account there, but I never used them to trade at all. But this was a while back when these exchanges really didn't exist. Yeah, you just need to pick a winner, and I think Ethereum Classic is going to be a winner. Considering you can trade it with USD, you can trade it with other altcoins, you can trade it with USDT. I think the possibility of it going up is a lot better than it being only pegged with an altcoin. And if a lot of exchanges start supporting it, I think it'll have a nice run up. Exchanges in Korea are already supporting it, or they're talking about supporting it and implementing it. Imagine if Coinbase was to start supporting Ethereum Classic, just because of the news came out a while back, and I remember this, and the ECS, I don't think you were on this live stream, but ECS was who basically mentioned it. It went from $4 to I think 8, and I was like, what is going on? And he's like, oh, Coinbase is going to start supporting it. It's just a rumor that they're going to support it in New York. And I was like, well, that's interesting. And that was just a rumor. So it went up to like $9, came down to 5. But what do you know? That rumor happened to be true, that they were going to start supporting it, even though they were supporting it on GDAX, but they were going to start supporting it on Coinbase, because really you couldn't buy Litecoin on Coinbase. You can only buy it and sell it on GDAX. So for them to support that, I mean, it caused a huge spike. And then, of course, with segregated witness happening, that caused another huge spike. So really, it just needs some positive news to be coming out with exchanges supporting it and exchanges really having it, pegged to the USD. And then I think it'll have a nice, crazy movement. But yeah, I think it's definitely undervalued at $7.15. All right, I think I caught up with all the comments, but let's take a look and see Bittrex. What's moving on Bittrex? What's moving on Poloniex? And this is basically based on volume. So of course XRP has the most volume, and that's basically, if you're just looking to trade, be in and out, don't look at percentage gains. You can look at percentage gains, like we'll look at percentage gains right now. XVG is up 120%. Yeah, it's very cheap at 22, but let's take a look at the volume. So 22 Satoshis is dirt cheap, but you got to look at the volume because that's huge. That's going to basically indicate to you whether you're able to get in and out. 671, that's not bad volume at all. Now, if the volume was under, I would say 3 and it was up 120%, I wouldn't even touch it. You might be able to get in, but it's going to take you a while to get out. So I always look at to see what's moving, in the sense of volume. If it has a lot of volume, it's got a lot of momentum, it's got a lot of liquidity, you're able to get in and out easily. You don't have to sit there for 2-3 days, at a specific price that you're trying to get out, and slowly but surely your price is just being executed. And that could take 5 to 6 days, possibly, depending on how heavily leveraged you are and how many coins you have. Because you might not have a buyer sitting at that specific price point that you're looking to sell. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the coins that really, would have done nothing are starting to get pumped. So it's always good. I mean, if you're looking to just throw $50 at something, I mean, it's a gamble, it's a risk. Look for something that hasn't moved, that was pumped at one point and it just flatlined for so long. I mean, it could only stay flatlined for so long. It's going to get pumped again. I don't think the pump in cryptocurrency is a one and done type of pump, considering there's only about 700 altcoins out there. I think the cycle will start and it'll start pumping again as time goes on. In the stock market, it's usually, I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of companies out there, and the pump is usually one and done, and that's it. And a lot of people think, oh, it's going to be pumped again, and it could take 3, 4, 5 years for it to be pumped again. But with altcoins, the pump can happen again. If it happened before, it can happen again. Sycon or Sycoin, I'm sorry, SC. And 253 Satoshis from that 30 Satoshis that it was at probably a month ago. So anybody, I mean, I don't think traders are holding this from 30, to be honest with you. It's mainly long-term investors. Just kind of taking a gamble and saying, you know what, I got 200 bucks to throw. I'll just hold on to it and see what happens. I think the problem they run into is if they're not tracking it on a day by day or week by week basis, and it runs up and then it crashes back down, and they're like, oh, I made tons of money, and then it came back down. Is Bitfinex platform better than Coinbase? Uh, it's like comparing apples and oranges, to be honest with you. There's good things about Coinbase or GDAX. Actually, I should say GDAX, not Coinbase. I would never recommend anybody buy any coins off Coinbase. I mentioned this before when I first started live streaming. You are going to pay a premium for either Litecoin, Ethereum, or Bitcoin. They are going to charge you more. Plus, they're going to charge you commission. You buy them off Coinbase, you're actually buying them from Coinbase. You're not exchanging them with a trader or an investor that's looking to get rid of them. That's where GDAX, the exchange platform, comes in handy because then you're able to exchange them with a different trader. So I would never recommend buying anything from Coinbase. But is Bitfinex better than GDAX? Like I said, it's apples and oranges. There's great things about GDAX, and there's good things about Bitfinex. The charting system on Bitfinex is great. Just a lot of the little details that they incorporate is probably the most beneficial thing for a day trader to be able to customize that chart. But also one of the things that I do like about Bitfinex is that it allows me to see exactly how many traders are stacked up at a specific price point to either buy or sell the altcoin. So I'm able to gauge and say, you know what, this one person is selling 15,000 coins. It's not a bunch of people. Whereas on GDAX, it's kind of hard to determine. It just tells you the price and the amount of coins that are looking to be bought or sold at a very specific price. But the nice thing I do like about GDAX is when you set a limit buy order or a limit sell order, you don't pay a commission at all. You only pay a commission on a market buy or a market sell or a stop order. So if you're just utilizing limit, you're not going to pay a commission at all. And they do allow me to utilize margin, whereas on Bitfinex, I can't utilize margin at all. It's not available for U.S. residents. I try to activate it because I would have a better leverage on Bitfinex. Having a 4-1 on $12,000 is huge to be able to leverage. But yeah, when I attempted to activate it, he got that error saying, no, 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 you are in the U.S. of A. You may not utilize margin and grow your account. So that's really one of the only disadvantages. But I do like the price fluctuation between both exchanges, how they have a different price, and I'm able to utilize arbitrage, going from one exchange to another exchange, selling it at a higher price within a matter of hopefully minutes. Yesterday, it did take about 4.5 hours for my Litecoins to transfer. I was transferring about 156 Litecoins from GDAX to Bitfinex, and it took too long. So for me to try to utilize arbitrage, that's not effective at all, considering it took 4.5 hours for that transfer to go through. I need that transfer to go through within a matter of minutes, so I can actually capitalize off the price fluctuation, price difference. Dula, Kapalik, but you reserved yourself a Tesla Model 3 today. Sweet. I'm assuming that was from your gains on the cryptocurrency market. I mean, the cryptocurrency market has made a lot of millionaires. These early investors that got in early on a lot of these coins um, are basically crypto billionaires. Thoughts on XRP? Man, I get that with every new person that comes on this live stream. Rage Pick, definitely want to welcome you to the live stream. This is the first time I'm seeing your name. If you haven't done so already, please click on that subscribe button. Also, stay connected with us. On the bottom of this video, there are descriptions or links to our social media sites as well as our website. It's a landing website right now where you can sign up for our mailing list. And if you sign up for our mailing list, we will be giving away our membership to our Slack chat that we have going on with a bunch of great investors or traders. But man, I've been getting this question all day, yesterday, all day today. My thoughts on XRP price. have a look at NIM. So Rage, I don't want to have to repeat myself, but yeah, I mean, just watch yesterday's video. I do talk about it extensively. I basically analyze where the resistance and supports are, and I'm really not going to do that today, so I do apologize. I'm going to take a look at NIM, considering I haven't analyzed NIM yet. But like I said, in the past, if Ripple comes down to a price point that I'm comfortable with, I'll take a shot at it, because I know where it's been, or I know what level it can get to, considering it's not making new highs as of right now. I know that 42, 43 cent is an all-time high. So if she dips down enough where I can say, okay, you know what, my risk reward ratio is this, and my reward outweighs my risk, then yes. And I think that price point is going to be probably 27 cents, 25 cents, somewhere to that extent. Because then I know that my reward is going to be up to that 42 and a half, 43 possible cents. And the downside will be maybe, about 4 or 5 cents. But NIM, it was up today, 31%. And Rage, I'll take a look at Ripple later on if it's making some sort of move. But if it's not moving and it's just kind of staying kind of stagnant and pretty flat, then I won't look at it, because then there's no sense in me trying to plot out the support and resistance. But if it's bouncing, we'll definitely take a look at it and say, all right, you know what, it's bouncing from this level here because that was a prior resistance, or it's going to have an uptick because it's hitting major support. So we'll definitely take a look at that if it's moving. And if it's moving, notify me. Just say, hey, you know what, XRP is moving. It just jumped up 10, 20%, and I'll gladly take a look at it for you. But NIM, oh man, let's see, that was the 18th this morning today. It looks like right at midnight. And that's the thing, with some of these coins, it's like they'll move at like 11:55 midnight. I think the past two dumps that happened on Litecoin and Ethereum, it was basically right before midnight. They would have a crazy dump. But yeah, NIM is definitely trending upwards. It hasn't completely broken down. I mean, if this was a fake move, it would have pumped up once, basically, at midnight, and it would have basically come back right down to that level. So for it to really maintain the level that it's in and still be in an uptrend, somewhat, it is downtrending from its high that it hit. But I mean, if we look at really from, yesterday, before it actually kind of went up, and we draw a line from that base bottom to current price now, it's still on an uptrend. But we'll get a little more granular on this, because I'm looking at the 2-day 5-minute chart and try to pick out where the major support, major resistance might be. All right, so let's get a little more granular. 5 minutes, 24-hour chart. Do we see any patterns? Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell with this. But first area that is really, I mean, if it's going to come down, first area that's going to have a hard time breaking and coming, breaking down to the downside is really, and when I look at this, I look at prior resistance forming into current support, and that's exactly what I see here. So it looks like 1, 2, 3 times it attempted to break out, and it did break out above it a little bit, but it didn't maintain that breakout. That would be right around the, let's see, 11,000 range. So that's going to be a strong support for it, considering 3 times it attempted to break out above it. It didn't break out above it. It finally broke out above it. And when it had a nice little pullback here, it pulled back to the prior resistance that has formed a new support. And it kind of took another leap to the upside. So that's going to be a very good support to kind of look at. If it does break that support, and it could, it all depends on supply and demand and sellers and buyers if they're willing to support it. But if it does break that level, then really you're looking at probably 94, 9,500. So really, I mean, if I was looking at playing this, I would, and a lot of these trades, I try not to chase them. I allow them to come to me. So you really have to have a lot of patience, not really get in because of fear of missing out. So if I was to let this come to me, and if I was thinking about actually getting into NIM, I would probably be looking at that 9,500. And really, it only takes one candlestick for it to get to that price level. It's a lot of selling that just happens all at once, and it forms a crazy candle and then bounces right back up. So that could easily happen. So 9,500, I'm going to try to remember that. Keep an eye out on NIM and see if it actually makes it to that level. But this isn't a long-term investment advice that I'm giving you guys. And remember, I'm not a financial planner. I am not a consultant. So these are only purely my speculations and my opinions only. So please do not trade based on what I say. But I will always say that if I was looking at this trade, in my personal opinion, this is the price point that I would be looking at. So I'll keep an eye out on NIM and see if it gets to that 9,500 level. Holding NIM since 3,000 Satoshis. Dude, Abdullah, that's why you're getting a Tesla. Sweet. Early investor, man. Yes. I don't know how many you bought. If it's, but since you're buying a Tesla, you must have bought a good amount. Yeah, that's perfect. You sold off half at 1,300 for a nice profit. Considering. Oh no, hold on a second. Let's see. Sold off 50% at 1,300. So I'm assuming you sold at 1,300 Satoshis when you bought at 3,000 Satoshis. So that's a big hit then, I'm assuming, from 3,000 Satoshis to 1,300 Satoshis. Oh man, I'm so sorry, guys. Nobody informed me I was on mute. Let me see. I was covering NIM, and I don't know, Abdullah, let's see, or Rage. I don't know if you heard my comment about XRP, about the current price. But I do apologize. I was on mute. Sure, I'm off mute now. Oh man, I just gave a long speech about NIM. I'll just briefly summarize it. Really, areas of support that I would be looking at if it does decide to get to that level. We're really looking at where it bounced down from. So I look at prior resistance that formed a new support, and that's basically right around the, let's just say 11,100 range. If it does break that level, um, the other level that we would really be looking at is the 9,500 level. So, if I was to get into this position, which I'm not getting into this position, I would be looking at that 9,500 Satoshi level. And a lot of times, I'm not going to chase something. I'll let that trade come to me. If it does make it to that price point, then I'm going to analyze a couple more things and say, okay, you know what, that's a good point to get in because sellers are stacking up, or sellers are not stacking up. The buy side is more stacked up than the sell side, and that might be a good entry for a nice little pop up to possibly 12,000 or 1,200. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, 12,000, not 1,200. Yeah, that 9K exactly. Yeah, that's why I said 9,500. But I mean, it could be. I'm never 100% correct when I tell you guys, where I think it's going to come down to. You got to give or take for a margin of error. But yeah, that 9,500 to 9,000, somewhere in that range. And I try not to pick. Let me see if I can zoom in on this a little better. I try not to pick the bottom of this candle wick. The bottom of this candle wick low would be 9,001. More than likely, it's not going to get to that 9,001 based on this little candlestick here. So what I try to do is kind of see where there's a happy medium. And that happy medium is right around the 93, 95. But yeah, strong support though at that 91. Let's see this candlestick here. And if it does come down to that level, I mean, it could form a crazy long wick and then come right back up. And if it does form a crazy long wick to the downside, that bottom is really 8,300. So anywhere from You know, if there is a long wick that forms on a crazy candle, like a 5-minute candle downtrend or a 15-minute candle downtrend, yeah, that's going to be the bare bottom if there is a long wick. But you know, 9,500 would be pretty safe to get a position in it. Yeah, and Abdullah, you make a good point. NIM themselves could be pumping it. Yes, NIM could be pumping it. The exchange that they're listed on could be pumping it. You know, they're all in cahoots. You know, they want to trap retail investors. I mean, they're there to really make money, and they're there to cause panic. They're there to cause that FOMO, fear of missing out. So if it starts dipping, it's going to cause panic, panic selling. People are going to get out as they're sitting there and waiting for the bear bottom to get back in. And the exchanges know where the bear bottom is. They know where buyers are stacked up. They know exactly sellers are running out of things to sell, and now buyers are stepping in, and they're going to step in. The exchanges will make tons of money off of these dips and the rises. You think 13,000 is its new support? Maybe resistance. I don't know about support. It hadn't really made it up high past, let's see, 13.89, 13.98. Let's just say 13.9. Yeah, it hasn't really made it up past 13. So, 13 might be a resistance. I wouldn't really call that a support. It's got to break out above the 13 and then come back down for it to possibly be a support. Because a lot of times what they do is they will make a prior resistant and new support if it breaks out, and it breaks out with a vengeance. Now, a lot of times they'll break out and they'll break out just a little bit, but then get pulled right back down. There has to be that confirmation that this is a true breakout. And a true breakout you can tell basically by a full candle with very minimal wicks, and then for a better confirmation, wait for the next candle to open up and see exactly where that candle's opening up in comparison to the previous candle's closing price, to determine, okay, you know what, this is a confirmation I've been waiting for me to get in. But if it does break out above the 13 or 13.9 and it breaks out with a vengeance, that 13.9 or 13.8 is going to be the new support. Considering twice it tried to break out, it couldn't break out. Third time it breaks out with a vengeance and it decides to come back down, that 13 will be the new support. Okay, awesome. Awesome that my mic was working. All right, so let's see what is going on. We'll take a look at, I know, who was it that asked me to take a look at Ripple? I forget who it was. All right, but we'll take a look at Ripple just to see exactly, what is it doing. I'll look at the USD pair, but we can take a look at the BTC pair. But it's still maintaining above 30, which is very good. I thought this thing would really break down to below 30, and it has not broken down below 30 yet. But like you said, I mean, people chasing it. Uh, People, buying the dips and expecting it to go up higher. And it could, but yeah, that resistance is still going to be there at 42. 42, I would, if I was in this, I would be looking to get rid of it, locking those profits. And if that's if I was going to get into this, and then for a re-entry, I'd probably look at the 31, to see if it'll actually break, possibly 30, between 31 and 30. Oh, Saya coin. Yeah, I don't know if you heard what I said, Abdullah, where I had bought Saya coin numerous times a while back. I think this might have been like 3 months ago. I'd buy it at like 27, 28, sell at 30. I'd buy at 29 Satoshis, sell at 30s. I mean, that's all I was doing. And then I think it was like a month and a half after I stopped looking at it, it starts to take a crazy jump. But I don't know. Saya coin, it's up a lot. But I mean, I remember first started looking at Poloniex and looking at just the prices on these coins, there were just tons of coins that were basically worth nothing. Now there's really only 2 coins that are under 262. Whereas in the past, I mean, this whole thing, half of it was coins that were under like 300. All right, let's see. ETC. Let's see if she actually makes a run up past that 740. As long as we can get let's take a look at some of the buyers and sellers and where they're stacked up. And you'll see what I mean earlier when I talked about how I do like Bitfinex, and I'm able to see how many traders are stacked up at a very specific price point. So on the left-hand side, it basically tells you the count, and then it has basically a number, and that tells you exactly how many traders are on the buy side. So if we look here, I'll try to highlight this. I don't know if you guys are able to see it. There's 6 traders looking to buy 45.55 at $7.15. That's not going to really throw an alarm. But here we go here. So there's one trader looking to buy 15,000 at $6.9925. So basically almost $7 he's looking to buy 15,000. That's a pretty good support. We got another person, one person looking to buy 22,500 at 685. That's a pretty good support. Let's take a look at our sellers. So one seller looking to unload 15,000 BTCs at $7.40. And that's basically what he's doing is he or she or they, as well as the other 5 people that are looking to unload 6,190. What they're doing is they're playing that resistance. The resistance is 740. That's where it touched and came back down. So they're looking to unload at that resistance. So if it gets to that 740, it might have just a little bit of a hard time because you got 20,000 coins looking to be unloaded. So the buyers have to be there to support that. If they're not, it could be pretty stagnant for a little while. 15,000 for one person. 13 people stacked up at $7.60 to sell. Unload 8,400. Another 15,000 for one. So this is one person. It has to be one person. That's kind of my speculation. The 15,000 on the sell side. 15,000 here. 15,000 there. There's another 22,500. So these 15,000s that are nicely spread out. Let's see if they're spread out evenly. 769. What was that other? 6. 740. It could be one person. It might not be one person. But one person with 15,000, 3 different times, that's huge. And then after that, it gets a little strange. And we'll see exactly how the price will react because we have basically different increments. So these could be bots that are looking to unload the 1,000, and then there's a nice little gap. And then you'll have a couple thousand orders, a gap, a couple thousand orders, a gap. You look like you're just strategically placing those sell orders so that they're not causing some sort of panic, some sort of fear, because the person that has all those coins, they're not going to put up 100,000 coins at one specific price. That's going to cause that price to tank. Nobody's going to want to buy it, considering they know that there's a huge seller waiting to unload, and that big seller is going to cause the price to crash. But let's see if she gets up to that 750. Really, 750 is kind of what I'm looking for. And 750 is going to be a nice resistance, considering that's really part of the shoulder and the head and shoulder fake that it formed a couple days ago. That 750 is a shoulder. So if it taps 750, we could have a nice little retracement. As long as buyers are just sitting there to step it up and move it, then she could have a retracement and then kind of get up to that hopefully 775, but she's got to break out above 8 for me to really be excited about this. She has to break out above 8. Yeah, Abdullah, if you have the patience, definitely. I mean, I would highly recommend that. And I thought about doing that a long time ago, and I mean, it would have paid off huge. I would have made a lot of money off of it. but I don't have the patience. And for me to be, taking a little bit, let's just say I take, zero point 0.1 BTC and start, or take one BTC and start allocating, zero point 0.1 to about 10 different coins. It'd be hard for me to sit there and have to track all these coins. So it might be just a little stressful to try to track them all. But that's not a bad idea at all to take one BTC and just evenly spread it out. Now, if you would have done this a while back, when there were tons of these cryptocurrencies that weren't being pumped, yeah, that would have been a great opportunity. Yeah, and like it's a good point that you make, Abdullah. Where ETH is following, where Ethereum Classic is following ETH nicely. In my opinion, and I think this is true, that whatever Ethereum can do, Ethereum Classic could do as well too. I mean, it's a fork off each other. So all they have to do is really just implement whatever what anything that Ethereum is implementing, and Ethereum Classic actually start using it. So I think as time goes on, and people kind of notice that, and people see that there are benefits to ETC. I think it'll have a nice run up, and that's why I'm still holding. Yeah, I wasn't even concerned, to be honest with you. When I bought at 7 and it dipped to 520, I wasn't even concerned at it. I wasn't even looking at the chart the way I'm looking at it now. I was really looking at Ethereum and Litecoin, and just kind of had Ethereum Classic on the back burner. I would periodically look at the prices to see where it was, but I would not be looking at every single candlestick that was forming. Now, when I'm looking to get rid of it, yes, I'll be looking at the 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15-minute chart to determine, okay, this is a good price for me to get out, or I'm going to hold it for a little bit because it still has a little bit of an upside left. But I think Ethereum Classic should be something great. I mean, when Ethereum was, let's just say, 125, or Ethereum Classic was 125, and what was Ethereum at? Ethereum might have been at, like, let's just say $10. Give it the benefit of the doubt. So let's just say hypothetically, Ethereum was $10. Ethereum Classic was $1. That's a tenfold difference. So considering that Ethereum is up to $100 right now, and she's going to have that variance of a tenfold difference, Ethereum Classic should be at $10. It really should. And I've said that in the past. There's no reason that it's below this $10 price point that it really belongs in. And there are people buying it. There's volume in Ethereum Classic consistently, and it has high volume on on Bitfinex. There's a couple times where Litecoin was really making a move up to the upside, that Litecoin overtook the volume. But I mean, if we look at it currently now with volume, ETC USD pair has 553,000 in volume. LTC USD pair has 330,000 in volume. So it definitely has the volume. It just needs that. It needs that push. And I think with Bitfinex price being a little higher than any exchanges, I can see people utilizing it for arbitrage. So the more ETCs that are going to flow into Bitfinex, the higher that the price should drive it up, because people are going to be looking for a higher price. But let's take a look at my chart. I do have 3 charts up, and I'm basically looking at Ethereum Classic on Bitfinex, Litecoin on Bitfinex, and then I'm looking at BTC on Coinbase to see if BTC is going to break out above 2,000. I think it's having a hard time breaking out above the 2,000, like it did in the past. I mean, it got close to it and then got kicked back down to 1680, I think it was, under 1700. Is anybody currently holding ETC? That's an early investor. Traders probably not. I don't think traders are holding this from $2, $3, or even $4. Let's see what is going on Poloniex in the troll box. Of course, I got to sign in to leave a comment. Yeah, Abdullah, I know it got up to like 116. I don't know if it got up to 120, but it was close. I expected for it to really hit 100 and have a nice retracement, but it didn't. I mean, for it to go up 20 bucks from that $100, it's huge. That is huge. I mean, I was buying Ethereum at like, first time I bought Ethereum was like 1676, I think on Gemini. Then, I mean, I bought it in the 20s, bought it in the 30s, bought it in the 40s. I definitely made profit off of it, but not as much as I would have made if I was holding it. Got ETC at 620. That's not bad at all, considering it's at 720-ish, 725-ish now. And you got Ethereum at 85. Nice. Yeah, I bought Ethereum at 76 when it had that panic dump, and I got rid of it at average price because I didn't sell everything at once. Average price was 88 bucks from 76, and I thought that was until I actually see it running up to 100, 120, and I'm like, that could have been a nice little profit there. I mean, even though I made good profit because I bought, what did I buy, 100 coins at 76 bucks and sold them at average of 88. Key point, hold some. I wouldn't say hold everything, but definitely hold some. And that's what I'm doing with ETC, is that I'm holding some that I bought. I mean, I bought 500 at $4.30. Got rid of 375 of them at different price point increments. But I'm still holding that 125 at 430. So hold some, but don't hold all. But yeah, F at 85. That's, I mean, that's nice. That is nice. I forget who it was. I mean, somebody alerted me when it was tanking, and they said, "Hey, that 8250 looks good." And what do you know? I mean, they hit it right on point. I think it might have been Luke. Luke, you're not on here today, I don't think. But yeah, I mean, this is as it was tanking. He was like, that 8250 looks pretty good, and it got to 8230, and I'm like, dude, you called that. I mean, you were on point with that call. And what do you know? It went from 8230 to 92, 93, and then it just kept on going up. But yeah, let's see how the troll box is doing. I don't know if people are still angry. Somebody asking, is Google implementing Ethereum? I don't know about that. Somebody's saying Sia coin should be worth 1,000 satoshis. I don't know, dude. That's pretty high. That's a five-fold increase. Good. Later on down the road, I don't think anytime soon it'll do that. But let's see. I did write a message on the troll box trying to get people to join this live stream, and it looks like it worked. People have hopped on. So if you guys saw my message on Poloniex and you're hopping on this live stream, please let me know. I mean, don't be afraid. Say what's up. So Ethereum at 730, and 728. So the price is not really too much of a difference between Poloniex and Bitfinex. That's why arbitrage really wouldn't work between those two exchanges. But I definitely need to buy either Ethereum, Litecoin, or Bitcoin in order to transfer it to GDAX. I can't transfer the coins that I have on, let's see, the Litecoins that I have, because I recently just transferred them from GDAX to Bitfinex to be able to take advantage of the arbitrage. And what is the price difference really? But usually they can be anywhere from $1 to $1.50 difference. So 24, it looks like 27.75 versus 27.78. So they're right on par with each other. And if I was completely out of my trades, that's exactly what I would be doing. Considering that the prices are very similar to each other from those two exchanges, I would be looking to buy Ethereum at 27.78 and moving those right. I'm sorry, to buy Litecoin at 27.78 and moving those right over to GDAX so that I have funds in GDAX. But it's not worth it for me to buy at, let's just say hypothetically, buy Litecoin at 29 and on GDAX it's at 28, because when I make that transfer, I'm down $1 per coin, and that could be anywhere from 150 to 200 bucks instantly that I'm down by switching those coins over to a different exchange that's selling for a little less. Vergis on Bittrex, amazing new stellar. Yeah, I've looked at Vergis in the past. It's a pump. It's a pump. I'll look at it again. Yeah, I feel the same way, Abdullah. I mean, we've talked about it previously. You take a nice profit and it goes up, but you know what? Be greedy, because and if you still use that same mentality where you're like, oh, you know what? Next time I'm not selling because it could go higher, it could completely turn against you. So as long as you sell in increments, so you sold some at 22, wait for it to kind of get pumped again, sell some at 30, wait for it to get pumped again, sell some at 37, and so on and so on. Then at least you're locking in profit, but you're locking in profit as the price is going up at a higher price point. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, don't let that discourage you. You sold at 22, wanted to 5. I wouldn't even really think about it at all, because then that's going to cloud your judgment for the next trade that you're in. You're going to be like, well, I bought this at 15. I'm not selling at 30 because it can hit 40 and it'll hit 31 and it won't hit 40. It'll come crashing back down. Crypto reminds you of a game of craps. Yeah, dude, it's a wild, wild west. Welcome, Crypto Claus. I appreciate you commenting. Appreciate you joining this live stream. If you haven't done so, please click on that like button, subscribe, click on the post notification so you're notified every time the video is uploaded. And also check out the descriptions on the bottom of this video. There are links to our social media sites as well as our website for you to sign up for our mailing list. Let's see what you're saying, Crypto Claus. When you're on a hot streak, you have to keep putting in until it all falls apart. So if I'm understanding this correctly, you're saying keep buying as it's going up, falls apart on you, and then start to sell. And there are traders that use that strategy. They're called momentum traders. They buy, then it's moving, and it's moving. So they'll keep adding and adding as the price is going higher and higher and higher. So what they're doing is they're not really lowering their cost average. They're increasing their cost average, price point they're buying at. Unless they can really get out at a good price point, it could fall apart on you. And then, being a momentum chaser, a FOMO chaser, that could definitely haunt you in the long run. They do. I mean, it's buy low, sell high. But when you're selling, sell in increments. What was I going to look at? Vergis, yes. Yeah, I've looked at this a long time ago, and it really didn't have any volume, but it definitely has volume now. But I mean, I would wait for a dip. I wouldn't buy here. We're looking at the 30-minute candlestick. If I was to buy, I would probably buy at the highest candle here. If I was to buy, which I'm not, I'd be looking at possibly 15, somewhere to that extent. But yeah, for it to have almost 700 in BTC volume, that's huge. That is huge. A lot of these coins that just go up, they're going up on very little volume, and it's easy to get a cryptocurrency to go up on very little volume. I mean, all I have to do is go in, and I can get this thing to really jump up to, let's say, 25 if I wanted to. I just got to keep buying at the high price. So anybody that's asking, whatever their ask price is, I just got to keep buying a little bit, buy a little fraction. Buy 0.011 at 21 cents, it would cause the price to go up to 21, or not 21 cents, 21 satoshis. Then what I would do is buy, 0.0011 at 22 cents. It would cause the price to go up to 22 or 22 satoshis. Even though there are, one, two, let's see, even though there's about 3 million XVG available for sale at 22 cents. If I buy a fraction of it if I buy 0.0001 at 22 satoshis, that's where the price is going. And if I buy another 0.0001 at 23 Satoshis, that's where the price is going to go to. So that's why robo algorithm bots are able to control the price, because they will buy a little fraction of the coin at a higher price. And they'll keep getting the price to go up and up and up and up, and to unload each sell order top price. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see on this chart exactly what it does. I mean, today's only the first day. But you guys remember though, trading crypto, trading anything is still a form of gambling. It's not true gambling, because you still have the coins. If it dumps, in the sense that if you go to a casino and you put, $30 on black on a roulette table, it doesn't land on black, you lose that $20. You put $20 on a cryptocurrency, it goes down to zero. You still have those amount of coins, unless it files bankruptcy and they're completely obsolete after that. But you still own those coins. So it is a form of gambling, but it's not, because you still have something that's intangible that you're able to hold, or not hold, but have in your wallet. Danny Baker, welcome, buddy. I'm not sure if you're still in Thailand, but if you are, have fun, bud. Digibite, oh man, did you get in that, Abdullah? I don't know. I know it was pumping. Not today though. I don't think ECS is on this, but yeah, I wanted to find out if he what he did with his red coin. Yeah, let's look at it on Bittrex. And Pattaya, nice, Danny. Enjoy it, man. Enjoy it. DGB, let's take a look. Now, these coins are not long-term investment, guys, so be very careful. Be very, very careful. Yeah, and Abdullah, I really can't tell you the technology behind a lot of these coins. To be honest with you, I don't have the time to sit there and read about them. I can really care less, to be honest with you, what technologies they're incorporating. To me, that means nothing. I look at price action, price movement, um, you know, technical analysis, maybe fundamental analysis, but I don't sit there. I've not read one white paper at all, because there's going to be nothing bad on that white paper. So why even spend the time to read it for them to be very biased and tell me all the great things that are happening with some of their crap coins? But I don't know why the chart's not loading. I think it wants me to stay on Ripple. That's a sign. It wants me to trade Ripple. Yeah, sorry, Abdullah. Um, I can't get the chart up. Let me refresh Polonius. Man, Gridiron Research. I bought this. I think I've said it in my previous videos. Bought it at 800 Satoshis. I sold it at 900 Satoshis long time ago. Who knew that it would pump? But I sold everything at once, and I was like, man, I should have held on to a little bit. Looks like they're adding GNO BTC pair and GNO Ethereum pair on Poloniex. All right, we'll see if Poloniex actually loads. It doesn't seem like it wants to load properly.